Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Puja Lestari, and hello, Ma'am Dwi Rianti, as a lecturer for this subject ELT curriculum. Here, I will explain about summarize material that I has learned in this subject ELT curriculum. There are 5 topics I will deliver, and I will explain 2 questions that I has choose. The first question is about 2 curricula, and the second question is explain about curriculum 1975, curriculum 1984, and curriculum 1994. All right. The first topic is about curriculum content. Curriculum content is another main level of education quality. The knowledge, skills, and attitudes imparted by learning areas or subjects, cross-cutting approaches, and extracurricular activities is the main source of systematic and, and comprehensive learning. And in this case, contents must be in line with the learning experiences, and there must be clear-cut objectives to be achieved by the end of each respective lesson. It can be in form of knowledge, skills, attitude, and values that learners are exposed to. Content involves subject matter drawn on the basis of problems, themes, and topics cutting across traditional subjects. The second topic is about the concept of a 2013 curriculum. The curriculum of 2013 was announced in 2013, but its implementation was first started in July and in July 2014, and it was implemented for certain schools as pilot projects. In the elucidation of Article 35 of Law Number 20 of 2003, it is stated that graduate competency standards are qualifications of graduates' abilities which include attitudes, knowledge, and skills of students that must be fulfilled or achieved from an educational unit at the level of primary and secondary education. The newest curriculum applied in Indonesian education is the Curriculum 2013. The implementation of the Curriculum 2013 is started on June 2014. However, it is still for certain schools and levels of education. The goal of the Curriculum 2013 is to produce Indonesian people who are productive, creative, innovative, and effective through empowerment and integrated attitude, skill, and knowledge. The third topic is syllabus. In the syllabus, I learned the course rationale, that who is this course for, what is the course about, what kind of teaching and learning will take place in the course. Next is describing the entry and exit level. In order to plan a language course, it is necessary to know the level at which the program will start and the level learners may be expected to reach at the end of the course. Next is choosing course content. Decisions about course content reflect the planner's assumptions about the nature of language, language use, and language learning, what the most essential elements or units of language are, and how this can be organized as an efficient basis for second language. Next is determining the scope and sequence. There are simple to complex, chronology, need, prerequisite learning, whole to part or part to whole, and spiral sequencing. Next is planning the course structure, selecting a syllabus framework. Number one is situational, that organized around different situations and the oral skills needed in those situations. And number two is topical, organized around different topics and how to talk about them in English. Number three, functional, organized around the functions most commonly needed in speaking. And number four, task based, organized around different tasks and activities that the learners would carry out in English. The fourth topic is Curriculum 1945 in Indonesia. The first curriculum was introduced in 1945. It was a grammar translation based curriculum. During the Dutch occupation of Indonesia, the Dutch educational system had been widely used when the Dutch surrendered and were forced to leave the country. Most of the English teachers also returned home. During the early birth of the national curriculum, there were some reforms. Curriculum reform began soon after Indonesia gained independence. The first was the 1947 curriculum, which was implemented in the 1950. The curriculum was still continued by the Dutch, and the five principles of national ideology or Pancasila were introduced to the students as the main basis of national education. And the fifth topic is competency-based curriculum and communicative learning. Competency-based curriculum is a curriculum that emphasizes what learners are expected to do rather than mainly focusing on what they are expected to know. It refers to systems of instruction, assessment, um, grading, and academic reporting that are based on students demonstrating that they have learned the knowledge and skills they are expected to learn as they progress through their education. Characteristics of competency-based curriculum. Learning is measured according to how well the learner performs in relation to competencies or objectives. Focus on the outcome of the learning. Instructional system in which performance-based learning process is used addresses what the learners are expected to do rather than on what they are expected to learn about, and emphasizing to the achievement of the students competent even individually or classically, oriented to the learning outcomes and plurality, the delivery of learning using a variety of approaches and methods, and teachers are not only as the learning source, but also as the other source which qualified educative substance. And I will explain the two questions. The first question is two curricula. I used curriculum 2006 and curriculum 2013. The 2006 curriculum is a development of the 2004 curriculum so that when viewed with the 2013 curriculum, both display text as the basic competency items. For the structure of the curriculum, both in 2006 and in the 2013 curriculum, both were made or organized by the government, specifically the Ministry of National Education. Some subjects are still the same as 2006. There are similarities in the essence of the curriculum, for example, in a scientific approach, which is essentially limited to students, where students seek knowledge rather than receive knowledge. That the similarities, here are some differences between curriculum 13 and 6 or and 2006 or KTSP. Firstly, in curriculum 13 aspects of the competence of graduates, there is a balance of soft skills and hard skills and knowledge. Different with 2006 is more emphasis on the knowledge. Secondly, in curriculum 13, the learning process of each term in elementary school and all the subjects in the junior high school or senior high school done with a scientific approach, which is standard in the learning process consists of observe, rework, ask, present, sum up, and create. Differently, standard in the learning process consists of exploration, elaboration, and the confirm. Thirdly, in curriculum 13, demand of measures from class 10, but in 2006 or KTSP starting 11. Of course, any change will be to educate students for better conditions and make them understand the changes in teaching to be revamped. Alright, the second question is explain about curriculum 1975, curriculum 1984, and curriculum 1994. The concept of the 1975 curriculum emphasized goals so that education is more effective and efficient, which influences in it is the concept in the field of management, namely MBO, or management by objective. The methods, materials, and teaching objectives are clearly stated in the Instructional System Development Procedure, or PPSE. The 1984 curriculum carries a process skill approach, which is in line with the 1984 GBHN requirements that education must be able to produce creative, quality, and efficient educated personnel. Position students in the 1944 curriculum were passionate as learning subjects, from things that are observing, classifying, discussing, to reporting, being an important part of the teaching and learning process. This is what is called the concept of active student learning methods, or CBSA. The 1994 curriculum is a set of plans or regulations that emphasize on how students learn to be physically, mentally, intellectually, and emotionally active. And emotionally active obtain learning outcomes in the form of a combination of knowledge, attitudes, and skills. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.